called it shifa. He didn't call medicine shifa, he said go to doctors as a sunnah. But he called the Quran shifa. So we have to ask ourselves what we believe. And as this month transforms us and changes, because it is on its way out. As quick as it came, as quick as it's gone. But as they always say, our goal in Ramadan is our same goal in Shawwal. And then going into Dhul Qa'dah and Dhul Hijjah. Some of you here may be blessed with Hajj this year. Hajj is another time. You're completely cut off from normal life as we know it. This cutting off is so valuable you can't understand. And we have to continue with it. To continue it after Ramadan with Qiyam al-Layl. Take advantage of Friday nights. The night before Friday is a major night where people are transformed. Continue with it. Allah gave us 52 a year spread out once a week. Never leave it in the same way that people care about Laylatul Qadr. Many of the Sahaba would care about Laylatul Jum'ah. Not a small thing. Outside Laylatul Qadr, which maybe have been yesterday. And maybe will still be tonight. Nobody knows. It's all speculation. But you also don't forget Laylatul Eid. It's a night completely ignored. Well, the Prophet ﷺ promised. There's ata given on Laylatul Eid, the first night of Shawwal. You think Adhan of Maghrib goes, there's no Tarawih on the last night of Ramadan. And that's it. But no, don't miss on Laylatul Eid. It's a guarantee. Laylatul Qadr, you don't know when it is. Of course, it's the greatest night. But Laylatul Eid, don't forget to profit from it. Be profiting and getting rewards that you can't see. And some of you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may show you in dreams the result of your ibadah, coming in symbols like honey, like fruits, like fish. These are symbols that come to people in their sleep, like visiting the Kaaba, visiting the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's masjid. These are all amazing symbols of success. That you gained something in this month that you can't see and you can't imagine. This is where we want to be. Anytime that Hayat Dunya starts to drag you back down, you got to resist it. Hayat Dunya clouds you up and takes your eye off the unseen. The unseen is something that requires your effort. It requires you to keep your eye on it and hold it. Al-Ghayb, that Allah is watching. That there are seasons in which the doors of heavens are open. There are nights and there are days in which the gates of heaven are wide open for khairat and ata. And if you have problems, it's faster to be solved through the unseen than through the seen. It is faster to be solved through the unseen. If you have wants and desires, you're never going to get anything that you want by the haram. It's faster to attain everything that you want through the unseen than through the seen. Ask Allah Ta'ala to strengthen our iman through the recitation of Quran and salah on His Messenger. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man wala. All of Surah Al-Kahf, which we are recommended to be reciting, all of it, every last bit of it, has one theme. From beginning, the first word to the last word, 110 ayahs. There is only one theme. The ghaib, the unseen, is greater and more powerful and more effective and more important than the seen. The physicists will tell you the same thing. They'll tell you what we see amounts to less than 5% of what we know exists, let alone what we don't know exists of the unseen. There are waves flying around here that you don't see that we benefit from. How is your Wi-Fi working? How is your cell phone working? How is your food microwave? How is your radio turning on? What's happening between the satellites? If you could see all these waves, you wouldn't see the person in front of you. That's how much stuff is going on. That's what the physicists of the non-believers are telling us. You have a Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam telling you much greater than this. There are 10 malaika, 10 at any given time, assigned to you, the human being, the greatest of Allah's creation. We don't see 10 malaika assigned to the moon or to a mountain. You are the greatest of Allah's creation, don't waste it. Who else is telling you that you're the greatest of Allah's greatest creation? You're not going to find a message putting you in the center like this. In fact, if you go the route of the atheist, you're nothing but a bunch of carbon that came together by accident. No purpose to your life. If you want that message, go get it. You're going to soon be getting the message of antidepressants and suicide, because that's the only logical solution. If you think about it, you have a message, they're told you're at the center, 10 malaika to each one of you. And they change shifts so they can be fresh. At Salat al-Asr, that's why the Prophet ﷺ cared so much to pray Asr on time, because that's when the malaika switch. And if you pray Asr on time, both malaika write down the reward that you prayed Asr. That's why the Prophet wanted to pray Asr at that time. And the Sahaba were so keen on this that they are described, one of the non-believers described the kuffar, mushrikeen. He described them. There is a salah that they have, I overheard, that they love even more than their moms and dads. They care more about that salah. I said, well, what are you talking? They said, it's Asr. They're going to start looking at the sun, and they rush to pray Asr because they know 2 shifts of angels will both write the hasanat down. It's as if they prayed twice. When you pray Asr on time, the beginning of its time. They cared more for the unseen matters than for the seen matters, so search them in the Quran. You will find guarantees and promises. All through the Quran is a book of laws, principles. If you do this, you're going to get this. Once the Sahaba internalized this as a community, they were unstoppable in the world. One of the promises of the Prophet ﷺ, an army of 12,000 unified believers will never be stopped. Once that Sayyidina Umar inspected his army, looked at the piety of the army, is anyone skipping Salah? No. Skipping Sunnah? No. And you're more than 12,000. He sent them, it didn't matter who he's sending them against. He knew that they're going to win. And when they weren't winning a battle and couldn't break down a city, he asked them. He didn't say, do you need arms? They sent us more soldiers. He sent them 2 men. He said, oh, what do we do? 2 men. So they're going to be your solution. The 2 men went around. Are you following every sunnah? Inspecting. They were inspecting the unseen forces, not the seen forces. They found nobody's using the miswak because they went to a land that had miswak. He said, you went from using your miswak for every salah, and now you don't use it. You dropped in the sight of Allah. You missed the sunnah. They revised that sunnah. Next morning, they found some of the people submitting. They said, what is it? They said, we saw you all sharpening your teeth. We thought we got hungry and you're coming to eat us. Village just submitted themselves. Care more for the unseen than for the seen. Allahumma hdina fi man hadayt. وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا واصرف عنا شر ما قضيت ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين ربنا عليك توكلنا وإليك أنبنا وإليك المصير اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان زينه في قلوبنا وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان اللهم إنا نسألك حبك وحب من يحبك وحب كل عمل يقربنا إلى حبك وحب نبيك صلى الله عليه وسلم. We ask Allah Ta'ala for all the youth of our ummah that Allah make Iman sweet in their hearts and beloved to them, and kufr and disbelief bitter and distasteful inside of their hearts. We ask Allah Ta'ala to unify our ummah and to remove all the khusum and all the plots and all of the conflicts from our ummah. We ask Allah Ta'ala to make us representatives of His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in front of the world that's observing this ummah of Islam. We ask Allah Ta'ala for people of Yemen, the Uyghurs of China, the Muslims in India and Kashmir and Philistine, that Allah Ta'ala come to their aid, and the Rohingya, and destroy their enemies. We ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to make none more beloved to us than His most beloved Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.